12, or you can start recording, and then I'll call the meeting to order at 7:13 p.m. for our Summit Waller Community Association Board of Directors meeting for Tuesday, August 2nd, 2022. It's almost Christmas, so better get your shopping done. All right, so first up we have on the agenda is the approval of the board meeting minutes from our July 5th, 2022 meeting.
So move.
You got to speak, you got to say who it is so I can tell. Who's
Larry
moving?
Mullins.
Yeah.
I move that we approve the minutes from July the 5th.
Okay.
Gabe, I second.
All right,
Okay.
so Larry motioned and Gabe seconded.
Mhm.
All in favor of approving July 5th meeting minutes, say aye or raise your
Aye.
hand. Aye.
Aye.
Thanks, John. Any opposed? All right, the meeting minutes from July 5th have been approved. Thank you very much. And I believe, Gabe, do you have the final version of those to post on our website?
I can, yes.
Okay,
I'm looking, but yeah, it looks like I have it there.
because I think I made one or two changes after comments came back. So let me, I can always send you the latest version.
Oh, that is the final. Okay, I missed that one there. It's been a busy
Okay.
household.
Yeah, I hear ya.
Did you send that out today, Angela?
6:51.
Well, was that the agenda or the meeting minutes that I sent out?
That one is the agenda.
Okay.
Final agenda for tonight's meeting.
Okay, I will send out the meeting minutes in just a couple of seconds to you, Gabe, so you can put that on the website.
Okay.
All right. So next agenda item is the officer's report, treasurer's report for June and July. I cannot remember for the life of me why we didn't do June treasurer's report at our July meeting. I don't think it was ready. So we have both June and July treasurer's report to approve this evening.
Comment.
Mhm.
I never got the May treasurer's report, so I asked Russell to send that to me, which he did.
Mhm.
I'm not sure that we approved even the May treasurer's report.
I believe we did. Let me double check the meeting minutes here. Well, then my meeting minutes, the meeting minutes for our last meeting say that Angela motioned for approval of the May treasurer's report and Larry seconded and unanimously approved.
Okay, I just didn't get a
Mhm.
copy. So I move that we approve the treasurer's reports for June and July.
Gabe seconds. And Dan
Okay.
just joined.
Okay. I like Dan's picture. It's nice. Okay, so we have Larry. Sorry, we have
He's
Larry.
aging well.
Yeah, Larry. Sorry.
Dan's got a facelift.
I'm just seeing his daughter's picture, but it says Dan here. It's cute. Anyway, so Larry motioned and Gabe seconded for approval of the treasurer's report for both June and July. For all those in favor, say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
Okay. Ayes have it, unanimously approved. Thank you very much. All right. Next on the agenda, I kind of grouped website and social media updates together. since they're kind of related in many ways. Gabe, do you have any noteworthy items for the website?
No, we did some updates just based on the canceled event that we were going to have on Saturday for the Orange Gate Park cleanup. But other than that, there's not been any changes. I changed some verbiage. Before that, I wasn't here in June, so we're looking for new board members and where to apply. But otherwise, it's been pretty calm, especially after 4th of July and the Facebook
Yeah.
issues went away.
Yeah. Yeah, Facebook has been back to the usual stuff since there's no more Firecracker Alley action to complain about and whatnot. So yeah, it's been pretty quiet for the most part. We still get requests for people to join the Facebook group, and I think we are at a total of, well, this is let's see how many people we have. We have 1,733 members in our Facebook group currently. So that's pretty cool. And we continue to get new members on what seems like every couple of days, get a couple new people that find it or see something and want to join. So that's pretty awesome.
Be nice if all of them were supporting members.
It sure would if all 1,733 people gave us $20. That would be very helpful.
I don't know how many we have that are contributing, but even a tenth of that would be nice, I think.
Yeah. I think it might be where we're at. About
Yeah, I was thinking that,
maybe
yeah.
170. I actually found out that I donated or paid dues twice this year. I sent in a check or gave cash, and then I also did it through PayPal. So I paid twice. I paid for somebody else's that they couldn't afford it. So there you go.
Paying it
Our-
forward.
Yeah. All right. Next agenda item is old business updates. So we have Orange Gate Park July volunteer hours. Let's talk about that first, and then we'll talk about the Trails Day event. So go ahead, Larry. You want to talk about Orange Gate Park July hours?
Yeah, I just added those up and sent in the volunteer hours to the Parks Department. I had one of my highest months at 20 hours. I guess no wonder I'm exhausted. Scott Bird actually sent me his hours for July. He rides a horse and carries clippers with him, so he's clipping things out of the way on trails, and he put in 8.5 hours. So
Great.
altogether, between the two of us, 28 and a half hours in July. And there was a lot to do as well. So people are
Great.
finding Orange Gate, and a lot of them are people who leave their trash behind.
Yeah. Do you find it, Larry, that it's any particular areas of the park that have more concentration of trash than others?
Yeah, 84th Street would rank first. 46th Avenue would rank second. 50th Avenue would rank third, and 80th a distant fourth.
So is it more concentrated near the streets, the roads, and then the further into the park, the less garbage, or?
Correct. Yeah, the further you're going to the park, the less garbage there is. However, I've not really, well, it all depends. There's a few sites I have to visit there where I'm always finding stuff. But yeah, usually it's right along mainly the south side of 84th between 46th Avenue and 50th Avenue. That's where most of what I pick up is there, even though Pierce County Parks does have members of their crew come by each day, and I think they pick up a lot of the bigger stuff. But whenever I go out, it's a couple hours, and I always have at least a bag full or
Mhm.
more.
Well, we appreciate your efforts, Larry.
Well, you're welcome.
Do you want to, any other questions for Larry on July cleanup hours?
Yeah, I can always use some help. So if you get a chance to go over onto 84th at least and pick up some garbage along the street, I welcome that. And you can put whatever you collect at the corner of 84th Street East and 46th Avenue East on that next to the pole that has the double arrow on it on the south side of the street.
All right. How about Trails Day event and fundraising debrief? You want to give us a update on that, Larry?
Sure. Yeah, as Gabe pointed out, we did have to cancel the Orange Gate Park cleanup on the day before, Friday. I got a call from Tiffany Odell and maybe it was Breanne Blackburn about the high temperatures, and so together we decided that it would be best to cancel the 9 a.m. till noon cleanup, but they wanted to go ahead with the photo op at noon, which we did go ahead with that because the summer fundraiser for Orange Gate Park and Pipeline Trails, that matching fund drive trying to get $7,000 was successful. As a matter of fact, it turned out to be 8,400 and something, which was matched 5,000 by Foothills Rails to Trails Coalition and 2,000 from Forever Green Trails. And so that big check that was in the photograph was 15,400 and some dollars. So we're very happy. Yeah, it was very nice. One way or another, we were going to reach that $7,000 goal. So I'm glad we met it. We were very beneficial from one of the Forever Green Trails board members who contributed $5,001. So
Nice.
that pretty much guaranteed that we would go over the top. But I know that myself and a couple of board members had talked about if we were close, we would certainly pitch in to make sure we get over the top. So we have raised our matching monies. That will make it so that we will have a little more influence in potential grants that are applied for by Pierce County Parks and Recreation. And maybe we'll get some federal or state grants. I know we're going for something near 3 million in grant money. So when the grant, the people who pick who they're going to give their grants to, look and see if there's community support. They'll see that we do have community support, and hopefully that will get us higher on the priority list for receiving these grant money. So we're pretty excited about it. And Pierce County, Orange Gate, let's see, Pipeline Trail construction will start in 2023, next year. And in 2024, there'll be improvements made to Orange Gate Park, and people can go to Pierce County Parks and Recreation's website and select Orange Gate Park and our Pipeline Trail, and you'll be able to see what those improvements will be.
Pretty exciting.
Yeah, and
Thank
oh,
you.
by the way, Angela was there, and so was Jen Bosworth. So the three of us represented the Summer Waller Community Association.
I did, yeah.
So
It's
that's a great
Okay.
job by the community. I was just going to ask if you could forward me the picture that was sent, or do you have a copy of it so I can post it on Facebook and our website?
We don't have it yet.
Not yet? Okay.
No, in fact, I will email Tiffany. I'll start an email. So I remember to email her tomorrow and I'll ask her if we can have some copies of those photos. Yeah, I think we should put them on our website and also on the Facebook page with a little blurb about, that we were successful and
The totals, yeah.
the total dollar amount and what it means and that sort of thing. So that'll be exciting. All right. Any other questions, comments on Trails Day event and fundraising?
Just one additional comment. The Orange Gate cleanup will be rescheduled for a later date.
Yep. All right, next item is the Puyallup Tribe meeting debrief that Jen had along with Council Member Campbell. She sent me an email. Jen sent me an email about just kind of a synopsis of the meeting itself. And she wanted me to read something specifically, and then I prompted her for some more information, which led her to some more emails. So she said that Jen, along with Council Member Campbell, met with tribal government representative and lobbyist Aaron Flygare, and they had a half-hour meet and greet, which ended up being through Zoom. They were not able to meet in person due to scheduling conflicts. And Jen said it was made very clear to her that this type of meeting does not usually occur because the tribe's relationships are government to government. They usually don't deal with people at the community level. They rather their government, meaning their tribal council, works with the county council typically. However, Mr. Flygare did agree to meet once more in September. So Marty Campbell met with Jen to follow up. They talked about next steps, talked about some hopeful change in some tribal policies. I don't know what specifically to, but at the moment, Council Member Campbell is committed to the future possibility of a Summit Waller Community Association with the tribe, relationship with the tribe. So I asked her, I said, well, did you guys talk about anything specific, Firecracker Alley, land use, Orange Gate Park, zoning, anything? And she said that she really felt that meeting they had was just really kind of an initial meet and greet, along with some boundary setting and learning about how the tribe functions. And so it was a bit of a prep session for the September meeting. And Jen and Marty have continued some discussions about how to proceed forward with the September meeting, basically baby steps forward. So she says, it's not all lost on us that these are important small steps, as the tribe has never really been interested in pursuing relationships at the local level. So I'm really hoping that in September we can have some more meaningful conversations with the tribe about some specific issues. So that is what Jen had to share about her meeting. Yeah, Gabe.
Was there a date in September? Or?
No, not that she didn't mention it. It might be scheduled already. I don't know the answer to that.
Okay, yeah, I was just wondering because I don't know if it's going to come before or after our September meeting is what I'm wondering. That's our next meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm guessing after, because our next meeting is what, September 5th, 6th, the day after the day after Labor Day. So that's that.
I did get a chance to talk with Jen about that as well at the photo. I think maybe you had already left, Angela. Yeah, it was made clear to me that the only reason that we got a meeting, even via Zoom, was because of that government to government thing that the
Yeah.
tribe as.
Right.
And so therefore we had to go through Marty Campbell, who
Yes.
represents government, to
Right.
get this meeting.
Right.
I know that Jen said that Aaron Flagler is a young man who is very intelligent. He has no nonsense. He is very used to dealing with government officials. So he's always geared and trained to pick up on any agendas that people might have, or
Mhm.
what Jen said, he can see right through your statements that you say, so he's very, very, very well trained in how to negotiate and deal with
Mhm.
at least other government groups and representatives. She did also mention that she threw out the possibility that maybe one of our board positions could be made available to a tribal member. And he said, oh, hadn't thought about that. I will pass that along, and maybe in that September meeting, there'll be a response to that possibility.
Sure. Yeah, like somebody who might be a tribal member, but would also live in the community, or someone that worked for the tribe, or a tribal council member. Not that that would likely be the possibility, but yeah, that would be nice to have their perspective at the table instead of us guessing. Yeah, so great. All right. Well, I guess we'll learn more in September when Jen and Marty meet again, hopefully with the tribe. All right, moving on to current business. First item is neighborhood safety concerns, kind of a standing agenda item. I didn't have any specific items that popped up in my brain as I was thinking about this. Now that Firecracker Alley is cleaned up and kind of gone, that would have been the only pressing one, but that was in the month of July. Do you guys have any others for discussion for this month? Whether it's nuisance property, traffic safety. Larry.
Yeah, at our photo op and talking with Breanne Blackburn and Tiffany Odell, I did pass along some safety ideas that I had for Orange Gate Park and in particular 84th Street East, and that would be a roundabout to slow traffic down through Orange Gate Park at 46th Avenue and 84th Street, possibly another roundabout where one can turn into the new trailhead that will be built farther west of 46th Avenue. So that was a safety concern that I had, because I thought, you can reduce the speed limits, which I've also suggested that they do on 84th through the park. It is actually going through the park. There are 40 acres on the north side, 40 acres on the south side, and people crossing from one side of the street to the other within that stretch of 84th Street. And as more people utilize the park, that safety concern becomes more apparent. So it's not necessarily off the table, but they said that they would take that concern. Now that maybe certain elements within Pierce County, like roads and parks, are maybe trying to work more closely together on projects.
Yeah, I think that's one of the, we talked about at the park the other day, was one of the biggest challenges is really getting the different county departments to work together. And as simple as that sounds, it's not. Each department kind of looks through their own lens of, well, we only do road work and we only do trail work and we only do levee work and we only do sewer stuff. And it's hard to get people out of their, kind of get them to look a little broader of, oh, there's a road project that's near a park project that, or a sewers project that intersects with a trail project, and kind of thinking about how to solve multiple problems with one or two projects. Something that is trying to get this, I think Pierce County is working on that, planning of public works specifically. Now that we're getting some, now that planning of public works at Pierce County has experiencing some new management. So, because they have a new office of the county of engineer, they have a new surface water management director, and even our planning and public works director is fairly new. So there's some changes coming. So I'm hopeful. All right. So anything else? Anyone else had safety concerns? I still haven't heard anything from Marty Campbell's office about the letter that we sent regarding Vickery and all of the problems at 104th and 96th and 84th and 80th and 72nd. I'm not sure where that went. Except in someone's inbox and then in the deleted file. So that might be something we can pick up again in September. So.
Well, I would just like to point out that a week ago, I was driving west on 104th from Waller Road. And when I came to Vickery, this lady pulled right out in front of me. I had to slam on my brakes on my truck to avoid hitting her on the driver's side of her car. I was successful in coming to a stop, and she just kept right on going.
Larry, was she coming south or north?
I mean, the stop signs are big. They got the red reflective tape on the poles. I don't know, maybe just need more speed bumps or something.
Larry, was that car heading southbound?
That car was headed northbound.
Oh, there's no excuse there. Yeah, southbound, there's that bush or tree that causes some line of sight issues that they have to keep trimming back. But the other direction, that's just them not being an attentive driver.
Oh yeah, she could see me clearly coming. I think she thought it was a four-way stop, is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I haven't figured out why some people do what they do at that intersection. I actually try to avoid it now. If I'm coming southbound on Vickery, I'll actually turn on 102nd or 103rd and then go to 40th and then turn, to go to my house. It's just, especially just busy times of the day, I'm like, I'm just gonna skip it because I have to turn left there, and it's just too many points of conflict and too many stupid people on the road. So
yeah, there's a lot of people traveling too fast on 104th and 96th and 84th, and even in front of my house 80th, which causes 80th and 50th Avenue to be a dangerous intersection, and actually 46th Avenue and 80th as a dangerous intersection as well.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised at how fast people go on 104th. I mean, it really surprises me. But it's a straight shot from Waller to Canyon. There's no light. It's straight. There's no curves, and it's easy for them to do it. But anyway, doesn't make my house any safer.
I know that Don Massey would attest that on Canyon Road, it's super easy to be going 50 miles an hour on the newly widened section.
Yeah,
and that's actually underestimating. I've got people passing me going 60, 65 plus. It's just, you can't get people to be better drivers unless you enforce.
Yeah.
And visibly enforce it. There's always somebody waiting to pull them over. Habits get formed.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, so next agenda item is update on Representative Melanie Morgan's incorporation study. And after we had talked about this last month, but for those of you that were not in attendance, we had Representative Melanie Morgan at our annual meeting, and she talked about her incorporation study, which prompted a ton of questions. And what one of the most one of the questions that left me with even more questions was, well, when is the community going to be able to see the study or participate in the study? And Representative Morgan did not have an answer for that. Fair enough, they're just getting started. So I took it upon myself to craft an email that was sent to Representative Morgan along with along with the entire county council, and I introduced myself and then introduced Representative Morgan to several members of the other communities that are also keenly interested in this study. So I gathered up some names and contact information for people from Frederickson, Midland, Parkland, North Clover Creek Collins, North Clover Creek Collins Community Action Team, Spanaway, and our Summit Waller. And was very pointed in my email. And I said, we don't want to be told what the results of the study are after it's done. We want to be at the table. We want a seat at the table. We want to help participate actively in the development of the study, whether that's through Q&A sessions, it's hosting workshops in our communities, it's reviewing draft documents, whatever it might be. We've kind of been through this before with Pierce County at the county level of being told that we're thinking about incorporating certain areas, and there was a lot of interest and a lot of reactions, and rightly so. So I emailed that and sent that off. I have not heard from Representative Morgan herself, but I did hear from one of the assistants who said they would forward it to the other people. And then Council Member Hitchin, which is Janie Hitchin, she's Parkland Spanaway area. I don't know what district that is. Is that 4 or 6? I can't remember, but she did respond and, said, yeah, appreciate your advocacy and appreciate you gathering community members across the area to bring the community voice for each area that falls into the study. So more to come, I guess, as it happens. I know July 1st was when the funds became available for the study. So they're probably just still in the initial stages of drafting up a scope and thinking about getting a consultant on board. So if I hear more, I'll keep you guys informed.
I would assume that they're in the process of just trying to hire a consultant.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So I wanted to thank you for all your efforts. That's a job well done, Andrea.
Oh, well, thank you. I just, as I went home after that meeting, I thought, this is kind of a big deal. And I really think that the community really needs to have a voice in the process. I hate it. And as a government worker myself, I never want to go to a community and say, hey, here's a report. Here's what we did. You get to suffer the results now of it. People don't say, oh, that's great. Thanks. Appreciate all that time and effort. I mean, people want to actually have a say in what government is doing. And we have a process for that. And so I think that this is a perfect example of how this particular study really needs to have multiple people participating in it, especially those from the communities themselves that are going to be most impacted. So
I would imagine that the average citizen living within those unincorporated communities that this study is looking at to see the feasibility of creating a mega city out of these unincorporated areas probably don't know that that's actually going on.
No, no, I don't think a lot of people do. Mm-mm.
Yeah, my wife was one of the ones that spoke up because she actually went through this in the previous place she lived.
Mhm.
And it's the people that are in the developed, already looking cookie cutter home areas that are dense that they're going to focus their attention on because that's where all the votes will come from. So it's
Mhm.
got to be handled before it gets to the voting phase to where ours isn't even on the slate for even possibility of the incorporation. Because the last thing we want is for an area of dense population dictating to us in a lower density area
Yeah.
what we have to do.
Mhm.
Especially since we are specifically zoned for as an RCEP, which has its own complete different rules, just like full rural does. So
Yeah.
and farmland. So I mean, we do have some
Mhm.
of that to our advantage, but at the same time, we have to make sure we're involved in the process, like Angela's saying, to make sure that we
Yeah.
actually have a voice in that. And Don, I guess has something to say too.
Yeah, question, does anybody have a contact with any of the writers for the Suburban Times? I know it's got quite a following. I pick it up as part of the news through Google News page local, but is that something that could be used to our advantage of spreading the word, getting more community involvement?
I had never heard of that until you just said that, and now I've Googled it, and that might be.
Something to take a
Mhm.
look at.
Yep,
That's a good point,
absolutely.
Don. We actually were contacted by somebody for me. It was like a small blurb about Orange Gate Park and the development. I don't remember her name, but she contacted us through the website.
Mhm.
I'll also see if I can't find her information. I'll forward that on to you and
But I personally support your efforts, Angela, and if there's anything we can do individually, I think we're all, as members of the board, behind you 100%. That's what we're here for. So just keep pushing it.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm not one of those people that bows easily, and I'm not going to give up easily. So I'm going to keep poking and poking and poking and poking till I get somebody to respond. So what I did not do, and I was just looking at my email, I think what I'll also do is forward that email to our District 25 state legislators, which I actually did not do, unfortunately. So I will make sure that that gets to them so they're at least aware of our desire to be involved as well. So thanks, Don. Yeah, I'll let you guys know if there's maybe a email campaign or a phone campaign that people need to start making to get some attention. So the other update I have is on Pierce County's comprehensive plan. And we've talked about just briefly before that Pierce County is updating their comprehensive plan, and it'll be done in 2024. And they've already started the process of going through and looking at the current plan and codes and policies and working on updating those. And a couple of things that stuck out to me in a update meeting that we had recently was that the comp plan, and I figured Dan would really want to hear this. So the comp plan will consider strategies to slow growth in some rural areas and those outside of high capacity transit areas. So really kind of thinking about balancing where the growth should occur. It doesn't need to occur across the entire county, but rather let's try to slow it in some of the more rural areas and speed it up, sort of, so to speak, in some of the more high density areas and those along existing high capacity transit corridors like Pacific Avenue and that sort of thing. They also want to balance that approach with adding other types of housing options. And I don't know what that looks like specifically, but if you think about short-term housing, long-term housing versus single-family apartments, you know, buying and renting, I guess they're wanting to kind of think about what other types of housing options could be made available in the community. And no updates to the individual community plans are proposed. So the Mid-County Community Plan, which is what Summit Waller is in, they do not plan on updating that at all because they just went through that a couple of years ago and did all the updates to those. So that won't happen. So those are the 3 points that I wanted to let you all know about Pierce County's comp plan. So we probably won't be seeing anything out in the public until next year. Any questions, comments, concerns, compliments? We take them all.
Well done, Angela.
Thanks. I just happened to be in a quarterly update. And so I was like, oh, I'm going to write these points down. These are important. I think the board will want to hear about that. So new business, advertising our open board positions. It's not position, it's positions. Maybe, so Gabe, did you say that you put something on our website or just updated the current stuff on the website?
Both. So on the important news of the month says we're looking for new board members, and then on the actual board members page, it shows open.
Okay.
Well, 2 of them are open rather. So open board position, then open alternate position.
Yeah. I was thinking in my spare time, I might do a little blurb about that and put it on Facebook. Just to help spread the word, and maybe even consider putting it on some of the other community groups, Facebook groups as well, like Midland and North Clover Creek Collins. So, so I have that on my to-do list.
There's Summit Love too, right?
There is some, yeah, on Nextdoor. I could do it on Nextdoor
Yeah.
too. So, yeah. Because I don't think a lot of people know what we do. They're like, community association. Oh, you're an HOA? No, we are not an HOA. You know, some people had never, I mean, I lived in the community for 30 plus years and had never heard of you guys. So, and then here I am. So I think that there are a lot of people that just don't know. So, and I think with the option of doing in person and the virtual meetings, I think people will, I don't know, it might be a little bit easier for people to attend a few more meetings. Any other suggestions about reaching out and spreading the word about open board positions?
Okay,
Besides
so
begging your friends and family and coworkers.
this is going to tie into the topic of last month was using our email address list for communications
Yes.
with people. It kind
Yes.
of ties together with that.
Okay.
Based on CAN Spam Act laws, you have to be careful about how you communicate out with what you send people. So if they are currently customers or members of our community, we can send them something. We just have to be very quick to respond to anybody saying, stop sending me stuff.
Yes.
And we have to immediately remove them from the list. Otherwise, we can be subject to fines.
Okay.
And stuff like that. So
Okay.
the other one is if we're doing an opt-in on automatically, it's just we're gonna have some pretty quick response from Russell on making sure the list gets updated, and we have to only go to the source that is maintained by Russell. So
Okay.
otherwise, we run into the problem of multiple lists confusing everybody.
Okay.
And lastly, some people get really irked when you email them out of the blue and they've never received an email for it. Doesn't matter if they don't remember giving this the email address, if they signed up for something to
Mhm.
them, they didn't realize what their purpose was because the time it was gathered, it wasn't specified. So we have to be very careful about that. For some reason, people have a problem sending it in the mail to their post office, PO box or their street address, but you get it by email, it seems overly personal. It's like it's in their house. Oh my gosh, what are they doing emailing me?
Yeah, I think that's some of what we talked about last month was like, what specifically would we want to share with our members that we have email addresses for? And it was we'd all decided limited. We're not going to spam people every week or every month of, oh, here's our next meeting. It was, only updating them on really important milestones or announcements or asks of them. So,
So the annual community meeting would be a good one just to
Yeah.
remind them.
yeah,
At the county comprehensive plan, that would be a good one to let them know when we actually know details,
Mhm.
what they can do, and then also we can probably rope things together. And also, hey, we have a Facebook page if you didn't know.
yeah.
And try to combine it all into a single email, but not overwhelm them with like a wall of text.
Yep.
That's pretty much it. That's just my input. So
Okay.
yes, absolutely. Advertising open board position does fall under that, but we should probably include a couple more items in there just to make sure it's
Agreed.
worth that one send.
Yeah, agreed.
Waller Road cleanup probably would fall into that category too.
Yeah, so the spring one could probably be at the same time when we announce the annual meeting, and
Mhm.
then the second would be a spring cleanup. So you're trying to combine as many email messages as possible into
Yep.
single emails. So
Yep.
no more than 3 or 4 a year, unless if we actually created a list saying, hey, would you like to know more? And if somebody wanted to do an almost monthly newsletter, hey, cool. But or if we want to say, hey, would you rather just get the newsletter digitally instead of mailed to you?
Mhm.
And again, it's also a list maintaining. So we have
Yeah,
to make it's all about making sure that the information we have is current and it's not going to somebody that's moved away ages ago.
I know that's the hard part. I mean, email listservs are so hard to keep current.
Yeah, I've had to manage quite a few, so there's a lot of
Yeah,
stickiness and get involved. So you have to be very, very light touch.
yeah, yeah.
Is Russell currently working on a current email list for us?
Well, that's the catch. He might have a list from the donor rolls, especially the people that sign up online through PayPal, because it automatically gives you the email address. So we are able to capture that information on people right away. So we have all of the information we need to contact them, but they didn't opt into anything particular. So we don't know how outdated they are. People move out of the area. People change
Mhm.
email addresses. They pass away. So how many of those
Mhm.
things are actually valid? We don't know. Without first contacting them and then waiting for either please remove me or email rejected.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Russell sent us a list at one point, many months ago and said, here's what I've got right now. But someone has to then constantly be updating it to either add new people or delete old ones. And it's work.
We
It's
do
work.
have
Yep.
a Gmail account that I use for the website management and also the PayPal account.
Mhm.
And I have to make sure I get that to, I think I gave it to, no, it was given to Bob. He had access. So
Mm.
of course that means we have to change that all over. I have access because of admin, and Russell has access to the PayPal, but
Yeah.
it's got to be a single point of contact. Otherwise
Yeah.
it gets messy.
Yeah. And I figured if, let's say let's say Russell does have an email list and I have a message I want to send out, or the current president has a message they want to send out, it would have to go through, it have to be coordinated between you and Russell to make sure that goes out. I don't think we talked about having multiple people in that Gmail account. That's not what we were looking for. Just making sure one person could be the admin for it, just to okay, copy paste, here's the email that needs to go out.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing to have a couple people managing the same mailbox. It's just as long as not everybody's doing it.
Yeah. Agreed.
But that's all I had to say on that.
All right. Well, thanks, Gabe. Any other thoughts on open board positions? All right, hearing none, let's move on to the decision about paying for Zoom. So at the last meeting, the four of us that were in attendance decided to try out meeting in person quarterly. So 4 times a year, we'd meet in person plus an annual meeting, so technically 5. And then all the other monthly meetings would be through Zoom. And we thought we could try that. That would give us an opportunity to, see each other in person, talk through some issues that need to be talked through, but then also in the other months could do it from the convenience of your home. I know Dan really liked doing it from home, and Jen had her reasons for also kind of keeping that option as well. So that means we'd have to continue paying for Zoom. And the 4 of us at the meeting last month wanted to defer that conversation until this month when we had a bigger group. And then also, Gabe, you were here since you're the one that's fronting the bill for us. So how open are you, Gabe, to continuing to do it if you were to be reimbursed?
Okay, so I don't have a problem with keep it going. I just didn't want to have to keep paying for it if there wasn't a reason for it. If it was
Correct.
If it was
Yes.
reimbursed, it's $12.36 a month, which is not huge, but again, it's
Okay.
an expense I don't need other than this. So
Yes.
I was able to get a discount when I first signed up. So instead of 15,
Uh-huh.
it's 12.36. So
Okay.
it worked out.
So 1236 times 12 months is well, just under $150 a year. Okay.
Don's got his hand up.
Oh, Don.
Is that the most convenient format available for you to continue with?
Yeah, it's actually the most well supported, and it's also very easy to set things up with that.
Okay, I would like to make a motion that the association reimburses our good friend Gabe for his expenses or whatever he wants to bill us for a monthly fee to continue the Zoom meetings as is.
I would second that. Angela seconds it. All those in favor?
Any discussion?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
What?
Any questions?
Discussion?
Discussion. Sorry. We're just gonna
We
get
need
right
to-
to it.
Yeah,
Do we need to establish a certain amount, or just whatever the monthly rate happens to be over a 12-month period?
well, a
And
month,
do we
what the monthly cost is fine unless Gabe has got some other comment to that.
No, it's just that flat amount. It's been that since they first started. So whether or not it's a February short month or if it's 31-day month, it's always the same amount per month.
Does
Right.
the price ever
Yeah.
go up?
It might, but they usually tell you in advance. I thought
Okay.
for sure after a couple of years it would have gone up because of post-COVID and
Yeah.
their popularity. Hey, we could charge them more because they need us, but it's never gone up.
Okay.
So at some point they all go up at some point, but it's just a matter of when. And of course I could then bring that up to you guys.
Would it be more convenient for Russell just to write you a check for the full year in advance? I think it would probably be a little bit of a pain for him to try and write a check every month to you.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I could do it post too. It's fine either way. It's just, just making sure that one way or the other it gets done.
Okay.
Okay.
That's my vote.
All right. All those in favor of reimbursing Gabe for his Zoom account to use for indefinitely until we don't need Zoom anymore, say aye or raise your hand. I saw all the hands. All right. The ayes have it.
Good.
Pass unanimously. All right. We'll work with Russell to get you reimbursed, Gabe.
Maybe every
I do-
6 months or something might make sense just because if we decide to move to a different platform, it's,
Sure.
I mean, I have no problem reimbursing what's unused or vice versa. I mean,
Okay.
Angela,
Flexible.
would that be retroactive back to January?
no,
I
it'll be
agree.
as of this meeting.
Oh,
I don't
Oh.
need retro.
I was just gonna ask that same question, Larry.
No,
I was gonna
I'm-
say, actually, what if we backdated it so you could get reimbursed for all the months that you did it? But if you're
No, I
okay,
committed going through the end of July. So yeah,
okay,
thank everyone. But yeah, it's,
okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, we really appreciate it, Gabe. Otherwise, we
Yeah.
wouldn't have had these meetings. I mean, we just
I
wouldn't
needed
have
it
had.
up until about 6 or 8 months ago. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I have no problem with that,
Alright.
that part. Yeah.
Thank you. All right. Perfect. So I think the next meeting is in person. I'm sorry. The next two meetings are Zoom, and then we have, I think it's July, October. I don't know, April and May or something like that is when we talked about meeting 4 times a year. Some weird random every 4 months. So anyway, we'll keep people posted as those come out. So
Angela?
Yeah. yes.
Those months are July, October, January, and April.
Plus the annual meeting. Thank you.
Plus-
Yep. Thank you. July, October, January.
So on the website calendar, I need to make sure that those are specified on those
Yeah.
dates that they're in person.
Yep. Yeah, we should do that. So if you could update that, Gabe, that'd be sweet. And then on Facebook, when I try every month to let people know like what meetings are upcoming in the community, and I try to indicate whether it's in person or if it's a virtual meeting. So all right. Moving on. Are there any announcements? Just general announcements.
Just that someone's going to need to contact the Mid-County Community Center to let them know the 5 meetings that we would be asking for at their facility.
Since we don't need it every month. Yeah.
Right.
I can do that. I can give Bunny a call.
All right.
All right, let me write that down. Angela to call Bunny regarding in-person use of. Got it. I will do that. All right, anything else for the good of the order? All right, well, seeing none, then I will think we should adjourn at 8:11 p.m. Check that out.
Okay.
Our next meeting is Tuesday, September 6th. It'll be on Zoom using the same link that you used to get into this meeting this evening. So
okay, see y'all. Gotta go.
thank you,
Okay, all right,
Don.
Don.
Have a good one,
Meeting
everybody.
adjourned. See you guys.